Here in the FIRST headquarters, having a great time. We're going to get ready to show off some amazing things with some amazing robots and their teams. But you guys know me, twitch.tv/DeejayKnight. But I'm here with some amazing co-hosts who give you a little bit about themselves as well. So please introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Libby. I'm the lead mentor for FIRST Team 1923. I've been a part of the FIRST community forever. I also stream on Twitch under twitch.tv/Escesian.
Hey everyone, I'm Karthik. I've been a mentor for Team 1114 up in Canada. I MC a bunch of events there, and I just, love robots and I love action.
All right. So, you may be wondering why you're here. It is time for the build season celebration. So, without us going any further, here's your chance to check out that quick little bit of information about what's going on today. So get ready, we've got the crab memes going, you gotta. It's a beautiful thing. Today is the build season celebration. We're gonna be looking at some videos submitted by teams highlighting their season and their robot builds. We're also joined by Discovery World in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we've got some FIRST Robotics Competition teams hosted by Shadow Temple and some amazing friends. We got Jake Flores and Shadow. How's that going on over there?
Tundra known as Milwaukee. My name is Shadow Temple. We're hanging out here in the Rockwell Automation exhibit space here at Discovery World with a bunch of teams from Milwaukee and the greater Milwaukee area. If you want to say hello to everybody here watching. Yeah. Now we're talking. All right. So we're going to be watching here from this exhibit space for the next couple of hours with all of you being very excited about all these reveal videos that are going to be coming out. Brand new, like never before seen premieres of some of these videos, by the way. So you might be seeing robots here that you may have not already watched on YouTube before this. So before we kind of throw back, though, we also have ourselves Jay Flores here from Rockwell, if you want to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. Jay Flores, the Global STEM Ambassador at Rockwell Automation. We're here in the Dreaming Machine exhibit where we are helping students see the real-life applications of a lot of the things we do. So we're hoping that this is the answer to why would I ever use this again in my math class, right? We're hoping to answer that question here and spark that excitement. So we're really excited for a lot of the reveals, and we'll take it back to you guys at headquarters.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Here in the headquarters, getting ready to get into some of these beautiful, beautiful things, but you may not understand. Those of you watching from the front page of Twitch may not know what's going on with these robots. So teams from all around the world have been submitting videos about their build season, and the cool thing is they're doing it for a specific set of purposes. If you haven't seen that, we want to have a quick glance at the game animation. All right. So it's not ready right now, but we're going to start watching these videos right now anyways. So if you're ready, let's get into one of these quick videos about one of these teams' amazing, amazing robots.
And DJ, we're going to start off, fast here. This first video is one of my favorites already. I don't even want to say anything about it yet, but it's super hype. But I also remember, we got a lot of things going on here. We got notifications for awesome content coming up. We got the weekly play-by-play show. Listen to this. Ooh. Every Saturday, from now on, from now until the championship, we're going to have an 8-hour live show going from regional to district to regional of just we got some of the best analysts from the Sports Network, and they're just going to be talking robots live all day long. So if you're a robot person, Saturdays, put your feet up. It's like NFL Sunday, except with robots.
So from noon to 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays, people can get a solid 8-hour block of robot championships here with FIRST on this channel, twitch.tv/FIRSTinspires. So, you know, you could hit the follow button. Some of those notifications have been going off like right here. People have been hitting the follow button. Do it! Turn on your notifications and come check out the amazing robot content that's be coming straight out of here. Saturdays, noon Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/FirstInspires. All right, so let's get started. Tell us about our first video. You said you're excited about it. Give us some more about it.
I am super pumped about this one. This is actually like one of my favorite ones because like basically I'm a sucker for anything that throws it back to the 80s and like 80s TV. And this video, it's not just like a robot. Like it's themed. It's so Team 2403 Plasma Robotics from Mesa, Arizona. And like they make great videos, but also they won 2 regionals last year. Like this is like a top team in that region. They won the Arizona North Regional with the Cheesy Poofs. They went on to win another Arizona Regional, and they didn't know what they're doing with their robots. But this video is like I'm jazzed.
Okay, so let's see it. Ooh, I like that last second like slide. It's just like a nice little handbrake maneuver with the West Coast drivetrain. They had a nice little bit of information throughout that video.
They themed their video around Magnum PI. All that needed was the robot to have like a mustache on it, and we were like set. That's what we want to see with these reveal videos. We want to have like fun, you know? And it's
Definitely.
just like it's not just the robot that we want to see. It's just like the creative process there, and like. Man, that's a video you can show to anyone, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm jazzed to see that." And so I think, yeah, it was Libby.
I think it's a really cool component of the FIRST Robotics Competition because you've got these teams who have spent weeks and weeks designing and iterating on these robots, but then there's also this huge creative component to the team. So every FIRST team runs like a business. They've got all sorts of departments, right? So it's important to have a way to showcase creativity like this, where even if you're not super into building robots, you're able to exercise what you're passionate about on your team, and you're like the director of this really cool cinematic robot reveal. I think it's so awesome to have everything kind of combined into one. And like you said, Karthik, you can show that video. You don't have to know what the game is. You don't have to know what, the different pieces of FRC are, but you're like, that team made a robot. It looks really cool, and I know what's happening, and I know this is really rad.
Right, I got a suggestion right here. Like 2019 space theme,
Okay.
Like 2020. Let's just do like 80s, 90s, like pop culture stuff. Just
I'm
like,
down.
Like you could have like Nirvana themed videos, like Guns N' Roses.
Or Power Rangers.
Tupac, Biggie, like.
I mean, we did have the West Coast drivetrain, so technically you would have to. Is there actually an East Coast drivetrain? Like that is weird. If there's only a West Coast drivetrain,
the rivalry got really rough for a while, and then like things went dark, and then no one reported stuff to the police. So it was like it was there.
So that was a little unexpected. I was not ready to learn this much about drivetrains, but we've got another video from another amazing team coming up, and I believe you know a little bit about this one as well.
Yeah, we got Team 5803 from the PNW district, Apex Robotics. They're from Seattle. Last year, again, 2 district winners, and this is one of the up-and-coming teams from the PNW region. What's crazy is, like, for a while, like, people just didn't know much about PNW. There were events where, like, it's West Coast or played later. Everyone kind of knew. It's like, oh, they have, like, good web streams. But then last year, their robots just came to the Houston Championship and were crazy. And 5803 is one of those up-and-coming teams from that region who's really making a name for themselves.
Awesome. Let's go see what their video's about.
Prepare for light speed.
that was fancy. I love the shots that they had in there, and just like the real focus on making sure you knew what was going on with a lot of that robot. Now, again, some of you may not know that there's 3 specific things that these robots are going to be built for. They're going to be grabbing things at low trajectories, sometimes pushing things up pretty high, and then they're going to be grabbing discs. So you'll see some of these robots' functions as they kind of show off in their videos. Like, this is how they're designing and engineering all of these parts. So what do you got to say about that one? Obviously, it was.
I'm always a sucker for great graphics. I love the videos. Like I said, I'm always going to love just the amount of effort the students put into these videos. But the Apex robot looks really beautiful. Like Karthik said, this is the Pacific Northwest teams have sort of come out of nowhere recently, where everyone's noticing, like, wow, there's some really good machines in this area, and Apex is a perfect example. If you're watching at home and you're not aware what all the numbers mean, they're actually pretty much in order of how old the team is. So the higher the number, the younger the team. So to see a 5,800 team with this crazy impressive robot is new in the FIRST community. It's really cool. There's a lot in the community where teams are helping build each other up, and you're seeing a lot of younger teams at a higher competitive level.
Yeah, no, that robot, like that video was like one of the ones that I say is like an artistic video. It gave you a lot of like cool shots, and it's a teaser, you know, like we don't really know exactly everything that's going on there, but I want to know more, you know, and so I'm going to be checking them out at the Sundome District event because I want to see what's happening.
Definitely. I'm a sucker for design aspects as well. I gotta say, whoever on their team got their logo done and then animated that little logo intro, that was a nice touch. And you can kind of get some of those aspects, that red and black color scheme on the robot. They've done a lot of work to make sure that all of those things were connected, and I'm excited about it.
Strong branding.
It's pretty
right
awesome.
there,
Yeah. And then they went with like music that didn't have any words or anything, so it was focused on, all right, let's get to this robot. So we've got another team coming up.
Yeah, we got Team 5507, the Robotic Eagles from San Francisco, California. They're going to be going to the Sacramento Regional to start off their season. They got a pretty fun video for us to take a look at.
Let's see.
Told me stop it, so much hate it made me nauseous. Worked in silence made me cautious. I exerted every option, count me out. Must think I lost it, losing sleep. Somehow I fought it. I heard life was a box of chocolates. Ain't shit sweet round here, it's toxic. Made the most of what we got. We go hard, been through a lot, so we party till we drop. Tell the neighbors it won't stop. Watch your shorty hit me up on days I need to pick me up. I just wanna live it up. Can somebody lift me up?
Welcome back here to Discovery World, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My name is Shadow Temple. We are just watching along with you here in the Rockwell Automation exhibit space, along with a few teams from Milwaukee. I've asked a few friends from a few of the teams nearby here. If you want you to introduce yourselves, what's your name?
All right, my name's Jason.
My name's Christian.
My name's Jacqueline.
And this reveal video for 5507, and there's some beautiful stuff going on inside that robot and outside as well. What did you think about that? What did you see there?
Interesting the way that they kind of had a box set up for the ball so that they could really just shove it in there from the loading station, and then they can just pop it right out into that.
Absolutely. I love seeing just that large space for it, ready to go, that you can obviously see also where the ball is inside there, so if you get stuck or get trapped, you can see it from the outside, right?
I'm a big fan of how they seem to kind of focus on the lower goals more, really with the swerve drive, maneuverability, as well as the limelight for the vision targeting.
This gives that nice kind of green glow to everything as they work along, right? Absolutely. And what did you think?
I thought their climber was really cool. I think it's really unique how they got their robot up, and
Absolutely. Seeing all those different climbers work in action, I'm sure if you've seen some of these videos that we've been watching so far, as well as more of them coming up, it's the end of those matches, as everybody's trying to get up to those top levels, it's going to be pretty tough. All right, with that, I think we'll send it back over to New Hampshire.
All right, welcome back. So you've got a little bit going on with Shadow Temple introducing, meeting some of the teams. And since we're talking about teams, we're talking about an event here with these teams building these amazing robots. I believe we've got another one coming up very shortly. But since we're still kind of enlightening people, if you've never heard of what we do here, my name is DeejayKnight. We are here at FIRST headquarters. FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. And FIRST's focus is essentially to make sure that students between K through 12 get the opportunity to learn about building robots. There's 4 major programs. You've got FIRST LEGO League Junior, FIRST LEGO League, FIRST Tech Challenge, and FIRST Robotics Competition. Now, this event that we're talking about here today is all about the robotics competition, which is the top tier event. You're seeing robots that can be up to 120 pounds. It's an amazing feat to see done with high school students. So a lot of the things that you're seeing here today are being created between the joint work with high school students and also their mentors. Now, Libby, you're a mentor. Can you give us a little bit about what a mentor does when it comes to a FIRST team?
Yeah, absolutely. We're both mentors on teams, but
I'm like retired. I'm just like a guy.
I know, just a guy.
I just like bark orders via Slack.
I mean, that's basically what I do, is lead mentor too, but we use Discord anyway. What a mentor does with a FIRST team can vary anywhere across the community, but FIRST's entire mission is to engage students in mentor-based programs, and so in my head, what it's about is, being able to open all of the doors for my students in whatever way that has to take shape. Whether it's just being there to unlock the door, make sure everyone's safely trained in the shop for our FRC team, that's the FIRST Robotics Competition. Of course, like you said, these are 120-pound machines, so making sure that the students are around them and trained in how to operate them safely is kind of the boring paperworky side of being a mentor, but it's a part of it. And then the fun stuff is getting to work side by side with my students on tackling really, really tough problems. So watching a student go from, I have no idea how this is going to work, to, oh no, I failed at the thing that I tried, to, okay, let's work that into a solution where we can get an absolutely awesome solution out of trying 15 times and succeeding that last one, right? And to me, that's the core of mentorship, is being there side by side with your students and supporting them. And different teams take that on in different ways, but I love that FIRST connects students with mentors that are in the real world. It's one of my favorite parts of the program.
So you're talking about mentors being in the real world. Where are these mentors coming from? I feel like that's a fantastic question for people who have never heard of FIRST.
Yeah.
How does the mentorship program work?
It can be a number of different ways. A lot of mentors that I know in the community, myself included, are FIRST alumni who've been through the programs themselves. Once you graduate, you go out to college, university, move on in the world, and you're working in the professional world. You come back and help out teams. Mentors can be teachers. Mentors can be parents. The key thing, I think, in the FIRST community is that mentors don't necessarily have to be engineers. It's awesome to go to a local engineering firm and find some folks who can teach the students computer modeling or manufacturing design, but there are also so many other facets of FIRST teams that need mentors, and a lot of, sometimes parents will fill in those roles because they didn't realize they were needed, and that's how, you can kind of find a mentor anywhere, and to be good at anything. If you have a passion for something, you can do it on a FIRST team. That's what I always say.
Definitely. So that's a beautiful way to find out a little bit more about what goes on at FIRST. For those of you who are on the front page of Twitch and have never heard of it, but I mean, we're here talking about robots, right? So let's get into some of these amazing robot videos made by these students. What's our next robot?
Well, one of the cool things about FIRST is it's an international program. It's not just happening here in the U.S. It's happening all over the world. It's happening in Canada. But we got this next team, Team 2576 Chilean Heart. They were the first ever Chilean team to be in the program. They've really created almost like a STEM revolution going on in Chile with getting lots of teams going and interested in this stuff, and they got a hype video for us to check out right now.
Let's see it.
Rhythm in your body's what you want, and it tastes of frozen lips, a craving love. Cause I don't need nobody for emotion, until my feet go numb. Yeah, until my feet go numb. until my feet go. Until my feet go numb. Until my feet go numb. Until my feet go. So if rhythm in your body's what you want, then embrace the loneliness. Alright. 'Cause I don't need nobody for a good time. Until my feet go numb. Yeah. Until my feet go numb. Until my feet go. Until my feet go numb.
Yes, indeed. That music was great, kind of seeing what the robot was pulling off. Like, I think you mentioned a thing.
So I want to start talking about like, the nitty-gritty here with these robots. We've seen a lot of different types of design, but there's two major phases to this game. There's the mid-game where there's going to be a lot of cycling going on, where teams are going to be scoring cargo, they're going to be scoring the hatch panels. You're going to accumulate a lot of points. You get 2 points for every hatch panel scored, 3 points for every piece of cargo that's scored. And then there's the end game. The Chilean Heart team decided to focus on the mid-game. And they've got a really kind of very, like, a lot of people, I'm going to say they have a simple concept. A lot of people will be like, oh, is that like slamming the team? No, simple is good in FIRST. Because when you have a simpler robot, you can get it done earlier, you can practice more, it's less likely to fail. So you want to have excellence within simplicity. And Chilean Heart really did that. We've seen a lot of teams this year who are using what's called like a handoff intake, where they grab the ball with the one thing and they pass it off to another device that elevate it. Chilean Heart wasn't going to do the handoff. They found a lightweight solution to grab the cargo with those green wheels, and that elevates all the way with them. And so I think it's interesting to watch the videos and to look at the different intake styles we're going to see. But I like the Chilean Heart that really, they're focusing on the mid game and they're going to be really good at it.
Definitely. And we've got another team lined up with another robot. So let's get a little bit of information about Team 2521.
Well, we're going back to the PNW region, and again, like, they had such an amazing season last year, and like I think everyone, you got to tune in to the webcast from PNW, and this year on the play-by-play show, you know, once it gets to like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern time, you might think, oh, the robots are done. No. You got to be seeing what's going on the West Coast. PNW every weekend, they're going to be having a good show up there, and so let's take a look at Team CERT 2521.
Let's see it.
I'll go and burn the stars. I'll just go and burn the stars. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. I'll go and burn the stars. I'll just go and burn the stars. I'll go and burn the stars.
Okay, Team 2521 CERT with the Chimera, which is what I believe they named their bot. Impressive work. So what's the next bot that we've got coming up?
Before we even get to the next bot, I want to talk a little bit about what we saw in that video. And so, Libby, like there was a lot of like stuff going on with wood there, and it was like the prototyping process. So, like, you want to explain what that's like for a FIRST team and what happens in the first couple weeks of the build season?
Yeah. So, as some of you might know, if you're not, you're watching here at home on Twitch, on the front page, the first season this year launched in early January. We got the Destination Deep Space game presented by the Boeing Company. And that game came to teams all at the same moment. And then they had to close their robots up, lock them up, and you can't work on them from February 19th. So they've only had 6 weeks to work on these robots. So that might mean you got to plan. You got to figure out, like you talked about simplicity, you got to figure out where you're going to spend your time, where you're going to spend your resources. But the first couple of shots, what I love in that video from 2521 is that they actually sort of gave us a journey through their prototyping process. So you get the cargo, which is that that ball, and then the hatch panel, which is the disc with hook and loop tape on it. And you can see in their video, they're trying things, they're putting it together with 2x4s, rubber bands, a vacuum, you're sort of trying everything and throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's a really key part of the FRC build process, because if you don't test it out and sort of try it one way and try it another way, you might get stuck in one design and sort of go down a rabbit hole. And so I love seeing the journey of a team trying a bunch of different things, and then being able to see their robot on the end, where it's here, we're on a field, we're scrimmaging with other teams, this is what we ended up on. And so it's an important reminder that we're here celebrating on the show, right, is that the build season is a journey. We're here to talk about, the whole 6-week period from getting the game to the end of the season. They also had a really interesting end of the game mechanism. I know you talked a little bit about mid-game in an earlier segment, but let's talk about endgame.
Well, I mean, let's talk about endgame. We're not talking Avengers Endgame yet, although if we want to talk Avengers Endgame, I've got like all sorts of theories on what's going on there. But, the mid-game's important, but you can get 12 points, which is basically like four to five cycles of panels that are balls for climbing to the level 3 of the hab, And so that's big. And a lot of teams have found one approach, which is going to be known as the stilts approach, where you jack your robot up 13 inches in the air, then you find a way to edge forward. Some people have motorized their stilts. Other people are using their intake with some wheels on it to drive them forward, and then you drive forward a little bit and you jack up. And so that video was one of the first examples of the stilts climb, and you're going to be seeing it all season long. I think it's probably the most... it's probably the simplest yet efficient way to do that level 3 climb. And what's cool about the level 3 climb challenge is there's going to be so many different ways teams are trying it. Like, we're going to see some crazy things today, and all throughout the season there's some unreleased stuff. There's teams who are lifting other robots. There's a lot of neat stuff there. So I'm excited to see that as we watch more of these videos now.
And I feel like that's another thing that we kind of want to touch on when it comes to the end game. There's not just the top tier level of platform. That's the third level. There's 2 other levels of platform that you can lift your robot onto. And also there's just another part to the front of the hab where it's just, all right, park in the area of the habitat. So that's another way of looking at some of these options that these teams have. So some teams, just like we were talking about, some teams focus on making sure that they can grab off that cargo hatch. Some teams may not want to get up onto that third level. And that's where we have other teams that are trying to get other teams up onto the third level. That's where we have teams that are just focused on playing the mid game and then not worrying about the end game. But that's where the strategy lies, and that's where I like the elegance and simplicity. So to continue seeing more of these amazing robots from these amazing students, let's look at Team 4905.
That's right, Andromeda 1 from Ayer, Massachusetts. So right here in the Northeast, this is a team who's done some cool stuff over the years. They competed actually already at the Week 0 event at, up here in New Hampshire, which is basically an event where teams go and it's basically a practice event, to test out their robots and whatever, and they had some nice testing, and we're going to take a look at what they've got.
Let's see it.
Are you ready for it?
We're back here in Milwaukee at the Rockwell Automation Dream Machine inside of Discovery World, and I'm here with Team FIRST Robotics with Dustin and Dustin. So what did you guys think? Dustin, what did you think of this last video?
I really liked their grabber for the cargo. I thought it was a really interesting mechanism. I was also a fan of just the video in general, the cinematography. It was really interesting to watch.
That's awesome. I definitely agree with that. And I think Dustin over here will give us another unique opinion. But what did you think of that as well?
Well, I really like seeing all their CAD designs and their way to lift it up to the different rocket levels.
Awesome. I love how teams get the same challenge, but all come up with unique, innovative solutions. So next we're going to head into a pretty cool team because Libby is part of this, very familiar with this team. Team 1923. Let's kick it off to that video.
I don't do this for the riches, I'm infected. My condition is I'm always in my head. These words are my religion, I'm obsessed, it's by decision. I'ma do this till I'm dead. Set me on fire, set me on fire. Whoa, whoa. I'm still alive, I'm still alive. Whoa. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Higher, faster, everlasting. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Higher, faster, never crash. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Set me on fire. Whoa, whoa. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Whoa. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Bet you thought that I was dead, but I'm not dead. I'm not dead.
Oh,
they're not
hey,
dead.
not at all.
Not.
Now, I'd have to pull my personal joy out of this. My name is DeejayKnight, so obviously I'm gonna lean toward enjoying things with knights involved, but that seems like a new way of looking at the end game, just like we were talking about, different teams approaching it in different ways. So it looks like they can be lifted up. Do you have to be on the platform?
Libby,
Because
tell
that's
us.
intriguing. That's intriguing.
I have to maybe spill the tea on my own team. So that is a set of forks that goes under another robot. So if there is already a robot on level 3, you could fork under them and then bring yourself up. So then you have 2 level 3 climbs. I don't know what my students want me to talk about or not, but I will say that it is attached to our elevator. So perhaps a friend could come with us onto level 3 if they needed a lift.
Could you just actually tell us?
That's yeah. The plan.
What are we doing here?
Maybe it's not with the inside baseball. What are we doing here?
What's up, Next 23 in chat? Hi. Don't worry, I'm watching. I see you in chat. No, that's the plan. It's something that I can obviously speak a little bit about this, being lead mentor for that team. But
get to the point.
full disclosure,
Savagery.
man. Full disclosure. I'm not trying to. Okay. It was something the students focused on very early, was the idea of bringing someone with you and being able to secure 2 level 3 climbs if you needed that. And it's something that became a huge part of our prototyping and our build process. So definitely something I know the students are really proud of. They teased it earlier in the season, and I know they're very excited to show it off here on the show.
So I'm a strategy guy and I'm a math guy. And so if you pull this off and you get 2 robots up there, what does that mean cycle-wise? I want you to go through the strategic process for you determining why was this so important?
I feel like too much of that gives away the team's secrets.
But see,
although technically
I'm
the keeper of the team's secrets,
so
for being real.
But not really. It's really interesting. What I love to find out, DJ, is why teams made the decisions they did. Because the lifting a robot, it's a super, super hard task.
Yeah, it is.
So it's you got to weigh the reward and effort. But I want to know what was the decision process there? How did you decide?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like you mentioned, where that level 3 climb is worth the 12 points and it's worth a couple of cycles. The idea was we wanted to make sure that we could fully be in charge of securing that ranking point. So if you're not familiar with the Destination Deep Space game, you also gain ranking points, which help you rank in the qualification matches from 1 to however many teams are at your competition, based on your win-loss record, as well as being able to fill rockets during the matches and getting to a point threshold with the habitat climb. And so that was sort of a priority for our team, is how can we look at getting those ranking points and making sure that no matter who we're paired with at any event, we can secure in some way additional ranking points. And so that was why they chose a couple of things. Why they chose being able to go high onto the rocket, because they wanted to make be able to, as close as we could on our own, get to filling that rocket. But I've been singing along over here in the studio. I got caught on the monitor for a second. It's fine.
It's okay. It's a great song.
I was singing along to Magnum PI. So
True.
I think we all were when it came to Magnum, because how do you not? But I feel like one of the things that we're kind of like discussing right now that is such an amazing accomplishment, in my opinion, is that we're talking about the engineering process, building 120+ pound robots with high school students. I'm an adult, and I had no parts of building any robots until last month when I was lucky enough to build a robot here.
I saw you build a robot right here. You did a great job.
That's why I had to clarify. Thank you.
You did a great job.
But that is nowhere near as awesome as what these teams do for 6 weeks. So we're talking about how teams are choosing to specific engineering challenges to both challenge themselves and also set themselves up for good things. Now, speaking of that, I believe we've got another team.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's got their video ready. So what we got?
Team 5460 Strike Zone. This is another one of those up-and-coming teams from the Michigan district. And for those of you who don't know, Michigan is like where the robots come to play. It is like a high-powered district. It's got the most teams, so many traditional powerhouses, but so many young teams who are up-and-coming. And Strike Force is one of those teams to watch this year in Michigan. So let's take a look at this video.
I am flesh and I am bone, rise up, ting ting like glitter and gold. I got fire in my soul, rise up, ting ting like glitter. Like glitter and gold. Like glitter. Do you walk in the valley of kings? Do you walk in the shadow of men who sold their lives to a dream? Do you ponder the manner of things in the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark? I am flesh and I am bone, alright, ting ting like glitter and gold. I got fire in my soul, rise up, ting ting like glitter. I am flesh and I am bone, alright, ting ting like glitter and gold. I got fire in my soul, rise up, ting ting like glitter. 'Cause everybody in the back room spinning out, you don't remember what you're asking for. And everybody in the front room's tripping out, you left your bottle at the door. 'Cause everybody in the back room's spinning out, you don't remember what you're asking for. And everybody in the front room's tripping out, you left your bottle at the door. I am flesh and I am bone, alright, ting ting like glitter and gold. I got fire in my soul, rise up, ting ting like glitter. Yeah, like glitter and gold. Yeah, like glitter. Yeah, like glitter and gold. Yeah, like glitter.
Go. Go.
Welcome back to Discovery World. My name is Shadow Temple, staying here at lovely Milwaukee, Wisconsin, here in Discovery World's Rockwell Automation Exhibit. I'm joined by Robotics. We were just watching along those reveal videos with you right here. 5460 having a beautiful robot Voyager there. I'm a sucker for a powder coat, I gotta say. So that was a... What do you think about that robot that you just saw in action there?
I thought that the manipulator was really interesting, that they used a hook design instead of rollers to bring in their cargo into their bot.
Because we see a lot of those wheels moving in order to suck those in, which makes perfect sense, but it's fun to see a little bit some of those more novel ideas as well, for sure. What do you think?
not just the way that they're taking in their game pieces, but also how they're moving their manipulator around with that swiveling arm is really something unique. Very cool.
Totally. We'll be as we keep on going through here, we're actually going to go right to another reveal video. This one coming from 3360 Team Hyperion out of Quebec. We'll send it.
Stop until we break through. So take your best shot, make your move. Oh, step right up. Who's next? You're messing with the best. We're death-defying, coming in like lightning. Look out, we're striking. Ready, set, let's go.
Absolutely beautiful video they had there. We saw another one of those stilt and using the wheels to pull them forward on the end game. I believe we've got another team coming up though, so let's get right back into the goodness of these videos. Who do we got?
Yeah, like that. I love that Hyperion video. One of the best teams from Quebec, but we're going to move right on to a team right here in Massachusetts. Another one of those young and up-and-coming teams. Last year, in their second year, won a district chairman's award, which is like, wow. Not many second-year teams do that. So like this team is up to good stuff. But every year they've had a really solid robot. Last year they were a captain of an alliance at the championship, paired up with Libby's team.
Yep. Actually,
so it's team 6328, Mechanical Advantage.
Let's see it. Looks like a lovely pair of robots. We got the chance to see a couple different takes on that tier 3 hab climb. Looks very interesting. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, with 6328, you know, like we're very, very professional here. You never insult a team, but I want to say that that team sucks, but like not.
Boo.
Come on, suction cups, man. Boo. But like we got a little bit of tease there of something really different.
Yeah,
because
we did.
The way they just pivoted that 90 degrees on the hab, and they teased it with a suction, so we don't really know what's going on there. But we have an idea. And
I like how all they showed was just the wheels going up. And like, if you could see the faces of everybody here while that was playing was ridiculous, because I was just like, what? And then it was just yeah, they did that.
Did you see that gearbox? They had a cycloid gearbox right there. So you can get a huge amount of reduction. That looks like 30 to 41 in a single stage that they can do right there. And so what are they doing with that? I'm thinking arm, or maybe that joint for lifting the robot like that. There's a lot of cool stuff going on with that robot. But then we saw the next robot right there, and we were like, oh, stilts and lots of cool stuff. Like, you see the diversity of the design that's going on there. But, I mean, 6328, this is an up-and-coming team. Like, they are going to be one of the New England powerhouses, if they're not already. So, like, that's hype.
I think seeing those two videos back to back, what's really cool is, we've talked about this a little bit, but in FRC, every team gets the same challenge at the same time. And to see them literally back to back accomplish the same task in a game with a totally different execution, I think that's part of what we're here to celebrate, right? Is all the different teams with their different solutions and being able to just take a look at every different team's experience.
That is a beautiful way of looking at it. And that's actually one of my favorite things when it comes to FIRST is the different ways that teams handle the same obstacles. And that takes us to Team 7724.
All right, Team 7724, Molokai Robotics from Hawaii. Some of the best teams in FIRST are from Hawaii, which is, it's impressive because of the obstacles that they have to go through. Right. Because, I mean, they have to get their robot to the mainland somehow. You know, they have a regional there. They've had one there since 2008. But if you want to compete again, you want to come to the championship, the expense and the time to get the robot to the mainland or to go compete in Australia or somewhere else, it's a huge challenge. But Hawaii keeps turning out the great teams.
Which is awesome. So let's go see what 7724 has brought to 2019.
20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
back here in Milwaukee, coming all the way from Hawaii, and a rookie team. Can we give a shout out to all hundreds of rookie teams here? So with right now, I've got Lucas, Elena, and Dan, who are going to share with us a little bit. What about this Hawaiian team did you see that was exciting?
It's very unique
for you, and we're glad that you guys were part of it this year. And Dan, we saw your name on the robot. It looks like there was some signs that were used from previous elections that they used, so they really recycled and used every part of it and gave you a shout out in the process. Right there in the heart, right?
Yeah. It was honestly really great to see them use things like election signs and Vex parts, and it really made them seem like a really good rookie team.
Awesome, awesome. So from one warm island, heading all the way to Australia. Hopefully I'll see this team in person one day. Team 6510 is where we're going next.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you...
Yo, please hold the applause to the end of the ceremony. Let's go. Look around us, there ain't no fences, just bridges to the ears of the listeners. On deck, take a swing, sharper senses, looking for a weakness in the system. Finally, it's you and me, here shake like a tambourine. We in this finally, both sides of the cemetery. Attention people, y'all get ready, this is for everybody. Try to catch up, we out here. Let me introduce to you. Try to catch up, we out here. That future hit. Are you ready? That future hit. Take a minute to refrain from acting green. If you're losing, you should join another team. Y'all should breathe, let me play another theme. At the start, this one nothing but a dream. Now it feels like victory, about to live another fantasy. Everybody clap with me, we're about to make history. Come on, attention people, y'all get ready. This is for everybody. Try to catch up, we out here. Let me introduce to you. Try to catch up.
That's awesome. That was absolutely awesome. I think the first time I saw in that video where they just kind of snapped it down and pushed that hatch up, it was just like, okay, that's different. And then when you saw it just drive up the hatch like nothing happened, that's also another unique way of handling that problem.
If you think about it, it's like the stilts. It sort of is, but they took it in two stages. Like a lot of teams, and it's an aggressive move to go from level 1 straight to level 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why you want to make the aggressive move, because time matters, and the less time that you're spending climbing is more time you're spending cycling.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a reliability factor, and this team found a way to do things a little bit more reliable from going from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. But if you add up their time, it seems faster than a lot of these teams who are going straight from level 1 to level 3.
Yep.
Simple works, and like that was a great example of it. And I mean, we talk about like that simple, elegant climb, and that allowed them to spend some resources and spend some more time on that crazy hatch pickup with the.
That pickup is.
Can we get that?
sweet.
Can we get that sound again? I think the hatch.
I said it was in Australia, so in the other direction.
Yeah, it flips the other way.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think what's really cool about that is a lot of teams looked at the hatch panel and saw it as something. Oh, it's a disc. I just sort of grab it. Similar in some ways to the 2017 Steamworks game piece, the gear, where it's just flat. I'm not going to have to sort of bring it into myself or change its direction. Let me passively take it and then just take it to the goal. The cool thing being on this field that the human player station and the lowest goals are all that same height, so you could really just sort of pass one spot to the next to the next. And I love this team's take on an active hatch panel mechanism. It's a little more rare, I think, to say, like, let me grab it and then let me take full control of it and make sure that I have it during the match. And I think any Alliance partner there's going to be very lucky. There will not be hatch panels on the floor, hopefully, with a mechanism like that.
Yeah, it's like a crazy move. It's like the Winter Soldier with his knight
It's
maneuver.
like,
It was good.
And what's cool about that is that one of my favorite things, as far as like phrases, is fortune favors the bold. That's a bold move to grab it, take it, and then push it up. And it's another bold move to keep the simplicity to also kind of climb different levels to get to level 3.
So
I think that was very well done on their part.
When you say fortune favors the bold, I don't know if you know the tie-in you just made. This is going to get super nerdy right here.
Ooh,
but
like
our
it.
game is Destination Deep Space, and that was the line of Captain Benjamin Sisko in the show Deep Space Nine.
I didn't even know I did that, but you know, I'm here for this.
There you go. Fortune favors the bold, man.
Yes, please and thank you. So, guys, if you've never been here before, if you're on the front page of Twitch, my name is DeejayKnight. I've got a couple different hosts with me. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Libby. On Twitch, I go by Askesian.
Hey, I'm Karthik of Apathy, and I go by Karthik.
Awesome, awesome. If you've never been here before, First is celebrating the build season, or 2019, for First Robotics Competition. So we've just got done watching a video about an amazing robot, and we're going to go right into another one. We've got Team 11, which is, we talked about earlier, the numbers of the teams are the numbers they signed up for. Team 11.
Yeah, we got Team 11. Team Mort, they're one of the teams who was in the 1998 and prior era. So that tells you how long they've been around for, and they've been doing great stuff in New Jersey. This past year, they won a District Chairman's Award, so they're doing stuff in their community. They're doing lots of stuff to be a role model team. And let's check out their video.
Let's see it.
Wisconsin. My name is Shadow Temple, and we were just watching along with you. A very beautifully painted robot here. Joined by a team who's really loves the color orange as well, of course. I'm joined by here FIRST Robotics, Team 2202, with Ethan Kaliananch. We just watched that video alongside you guys, and I'd like to hear some reactions from you guys, if that would be all right. What did you think there?
I thought it was awesome the way they customized their robot to make it perfect for their team.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they really went for that customization there, didn't they? Yeah.
I thought that their grabber mechanism was really interesting, how it could pick up the use of the rollers to pick up the cargo and the hatch panels, and how it went both ways. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, with two really kind of, I mean, certainly we've worked with plenty of with different balls over the years when it comes to manipulating the game objects, but having to have that kind of flexibility as you work through and trying to grab both game pieces these days are going to be a big deal. And you can see a lot of these robots coming up with really creative designs for that. What do you think?
So I really liked how they had two different mechanisms for like an intake, and then the lifting was a whole different thing. So I was like multitasking, and that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're still watching together here, watching plenty of these different reveal videos. We got plenty more coming up from where that came from. We're actually going to be throwing up to 3739 from London, Ontario. Why don't you go ahead and take it away from us?
back. Welcome back. Getting a good glimpse at an amazing looking robot. Got a nice sub from Karthik looking Karthik. See what you did there. Thank you very much for the support. And guys, if you are watching this stream from the front page of Twitch, come on in. Come hang out with us. If you're hanging out in the chat, if you haven't already done so, hit that follow button. It'd be a pleasure to see you, because if you didn't know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Every Saturday during the season for FIRST, they're going to be going from noon Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern with a lot of amazing matches. And right when you get around about 5 p.m. on the Eastern thing, you think, oh man, it might be over. No, because you go back 3 hours and things are still just kicking off on the West Coast. So get ready for the amazing things that are happening, not only here from headquarters, but also the amazing matches going on all Saturday over the weekends. If you've never been here before, you just saw it on the screen. My name is DeejayKnight. I got two lovely hosts.
Hi, my name is Libby on Twitch, or on the internet I go by Escessian.
Hey, and I'm Karthik of apathy, and I'm not actually thick.
He's not.
No.
It's 2019 though. Thick is a good thing usually.
It might be a good thing, but it's not me.
Apparently, Karthik doesn't agree that he's thick, but we gave Jay Witchery, I believe it was, with another subscription to the channel. Thank you very much for your support. But FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, and they teach how to build robots from kindergarten all the way through senior year of high school. It's an amazing program. We're watching teams in the top tier version of the FIRST Robotics Competition. They're doing amazing things. We're going to look at the next team, which is Team 6390.
So yeah, we're going to take it over to the West Coast, but we're going to go up the coast to the north into Canada, British Columbia. And so if you think about how FIRST has grown in Canada over the years, it started off in Ontario, then Quebec got a regional. Now Quebec's on a second regional this year. It went out to Alberta, and now last year it went to Vancouver. So it's just basically spread across the country. The efforts of what FIRST Canada has done has just been absolutely amazing. And 6390 is one of the top teams in British Columbia. They won the first British Columbia regional last year, and they won Rookie All-Star the year before. So this is a team that's on the move, and their video's going to show it.
Let's see what they got.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the people upstairs handed us this. We gotta fit this ball into that, only using this stuff. Let's go for it.
So every day I spend my time drinking wine, feeling fine, waiting here to find the sign that I should take it slow. To another dimension, my mind, body, soul, and prison, my probably going ballistic, but listen, I'm missing a couple of screws. They ain't never do drilling, Drew. You've been zipping away at the truth. A double side of wisdom, rolling, hit and switch, rolling this, blowing kiss to the holding business. What's the business? Beat the system, go to business, blow the sentence, go to prison, go to church and pray to Father, Lord forgive us. And only God can judge me, and He don't like no ugly. I look so good, most of. Buddy, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I know I plead the fifth. I tell her holla if you need some. The devotion is getting hopeless, but hold it. I'm getting close as my soul is. I'm seeing ghosts as a soloist, now a poet. Hypnosis, overdose on potions, adjusting to the motions and getting out of my emotions.
As you can see, we were kind of going along with that video, feeling the vibes of it. It was a nice beat. It was an amazing looking bot. Now, you had a valid point on their intake. What were you saying about the intake?
Well, I was saying that intake, man, like, they clearly must have been really wanted to keep the weight low on that, because the lightning patterns are aggressive. That intake is basically a skeleton, which is like super great because it's light, so that means it can lift. It's very low stress on the elevator, low stress on the motors that are controlling it. But like, you gotta remember, if that's outside the frame perimeter, that's exposed. But the team knows that too. Like they know what's going outside the frame perimeter. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But I just want to thank Team 6390 for bringing some hip hop into FIRST. We just need more of this. You go to the events and like DJs don't play hip hop, no one plays hip hop, and I'm just like, come on, let's just make it. We want this to be fun. We want people to get up and dance. You know, like.
We were all dancing.
Yeah, we were.
It was good music choice. I love seeing the creativity from teams, and of course, you know, you got to have some shout outs to Robot Aesthetics too, as both gamers and PC builders. The RGB though,
I'm a fan of it. Now, what's cool about it is it seems like that the red light was actually a functional light. The blue light was fancy. Now, the green lights. Multiple robots have this green light. Now, there's got to be a purpose for the slide. What would that be?
Yeah, so a lot of robots will use vision targeting systems, so either cameras with green LED ring lights or new cameras in the FIRST community called the limelight. So a lot of those green lights that you're seeing, if you're not familiar with what FIRST robots normally look like, those green lights are typically for cameras, because up on the field is a retroreflective tape that reacts to that light, and you can see from your computer vision system, hey, how far am I from the goal? Am I at the right angle? So you basically tell the robot, wait until you see the targets in that light, in that reflective light, at exactly this position. Now you know you're in the right position to score. So it's a way, not only in the sandstorm period, that beginning of the match, where teams can use pre-programmed controls, and during driver-controlled period, teams can sort of do this automated lineup. A lot of teams did it very well. When the goal has that target, you're able to use the vision system and say, all right, I've got my game piece, and I know I'm locked on. I'm right there on the goal. And it can save a lot of time, so the driver doesn't have to line up, back up, line up, back up. Right. And it makes things a little bit simpler for everyone on the drive team to know, yep, we're in front of the goal, we're going to score, we're good.
Well, and the other thing that's really important to remember, and like people who aren't part of the FIRST community definitely don't know this, but I think a lot of teams don't realize, it is very, very hard to score this year, especially on the cargo ship.
Definitely.
Because they got those little nubs that separate the sections to prevent like a panel from being scored like in between the two.
Right.
And so because of that, you have to be like very finely positioned. And when a defender comes into the zone, we haven't even talked about the defense in this game, and it's something that's going to be a huge factor. Defender just bumps you the slightest bit, your angle's off, you're going to miss with that panel. The cargo in the cargo ship bounces off so easily because of the netting. You need to be really, really precise, and that's where the cameras come in. Because also, and I mean, you two are gamers, so you know, like, it's nice when you have like a straight on sort of angle, but so much of the scoring in this game is happening at 90 degrees. So the drivers are looking one way, but the robot is pointed in the other direction. And all this stuff is hard. And that's why the camera assist or any other sensor assist is super important.
Definitely. Now, we've been seeing a lot of amazing robots. We've got another team coming up. We've got Team 3082. You've been excited.
I am pumped for this team. I don't really know much about them. They're from Minnetonka, Minnesota. Prince sang about the city, but they got the best team name. Chicken Bot Pie.
Ooh,
Chicken Bot Pie.
So, before we go into the Chicken Bot Pie, we've been talking a lot about the game. Let's show you the game animation so you can see a little bit about the things that these students are building their robots for. And then we're going to go right into the Chicken Bot Pie.
That's right, Chicken Bot Pie.
Travelers race to place hatch panels on their rockets and cargo ship, load valuable cargo for transport off the planet, and return to the safety of their habitat, all before the next sandstorm.
Welcome back. Not only did we get to see Chicken Bot Pie, we also got to see the Patriot Bots, which is a pretty good combination of robots from amazing teams. Now we're going to get ready to go right into another one. And what's the next team we got to go with, Karthik?
So I've got a really exciting team here. We keep talking about these up-and-coming teams, and there's a lot of them in FRC right now. So you go back a bunch of years ago in FIRST, it was so hard for these young teams to break through to the next level. Like, forget about rookie, second years, like third year, fourth year teams. But like, everything kind of changed in 2013. We kind of talked about it as being the COTS revolution, where there was just suddenly so many different parts available off the shelf to build robots. So teams weren't limited by what tools they had in their shop. They could go out and buy some of the things that only the top teams used to be able to build. And that lowered the bar for entry. And so now we see these younger teams who are doing simple solutions, and they're coming up with cool robots. And 5885 is one of them, the Villanova Wildcats. I love this team. It's a great story. I was just at a hotel at an event one time, and I was looking for like a bottle of water, a room. I see like a case of water, and they're like, they see me looking, they're like, "Do you want a bottle of water?" I'm like, "Yeah, please." And like, they invited me to sit down with them, and like, it was just like a bunch of their mentors or whatever, and they told me the story of their team for like 3 hours. And I just was like, "Wow, I love
awesome.
everything that this team is doing." So I am super hyped to introduce them. Team 5885, the Villanova Wildcats from Ontario.
Let's see it.
Here back in Milwaukee, the hometown of Rockwell Automation headquarters, and I noticed a Rockwell Automation sticker on the robot, but I really want to know what Mia and Maddie from Charger Robotics noticed. And so what stood out to you, Mia?
The first part of the video is I really liked how they showed how they were actually machining the robot, not just showcasing the robot, but the hard work that the students put into it.
Absolutely. There's so much that goes into this season, and we're celebrating the end of it, but it's actually the beginning of the rest of your guys' careers and futures. So it's cool to see what that could have started with to then now end of build season and what comes next. So how about yourself? What did you see?
I think it's really exciting, the changes that they took with this year's game challenge, like their 3D printed claw. I think that's a really cool mechanism that I'm excited to see in competition.
Awesome. Again, really excited to see all the things that are coming this season. And Chargers are actually from Hamilton High School. And next we are sending it to another Hamilton, Ontario, with Team 5406, the Celtics.
I don't know what I would do if I was left alone to my own devices. I need to fight this, but I swear I'm gonna take my time, and I hope that you don't change your mind. So I swear I'm gonna take my time.
okay, yeah, they weren't playing. So we got to see another team using part of their intake, helping them get to that top level of the hab. That was super interesting.
Yeah, it was 5406. You got to remember, like, this was one of the best teams in the world last year. Not just one of the best teams in Ontario, Canada, but like one of the best teams in the world. And they followed it up with another great robot. So like last year was like, you think it's a peak, but they keep going up, man. Right. And it's just kind of crazy that this is only their 5th year, but they were like one of these like crazy top teams. And we've seen the stilt climb. We've talked about the stilt climb, right, but that's the fastest one we've seen. Just the coordination of it all. And it's like, that's a pre-programmed motion. So like when we talk about autonomous robots, you know, like what happens in the first 15 seconds of the match, autonomous is not just the beginning of the match. The best teams use autonomy throughout the match and these coordinated routines. So the driver's not saying lower intake, pop, stilt, not one button, go.
Yep. And that's a beautiful way to handle the speed of it, because we were like, I think all of us just sat here for a second like, wait a minute, and kind of watched. It was like, okay, that's very impressive. So we've got another team coming up.
Oh yeah, we do. And this is, again, we talked about Celtics, one of the best teams in Canada. We're going to go to the other side of the world and over to Israel. So FIRST has been running events in Israel since 2005. So we're talking about the 15th year of the Israeli events. And
that's awesome.
Team Bumblebee 3339 is one of the best Israeli teams. And Einstein 2015, Einstein 2016, division finalists last year championship, consistently putting out some of the greatest robots, and they do really cool stuff. So let's just check this out.
Let's.
We were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. Fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is grown mad. If we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. The sky is falling and the world is gone mad. And we sing our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness.
Discovery World in breezy, beautiful, and mostly frozen Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My name is Shadow Temple, and I've got a few friends here from both Hilltopper Robotics and Laser Robotics. I've got Christian, Masha, and Jason with us, watching along with you. Team 3339, looking pretty incredible. There's a lot to unravel in that video that we just saw, and I'll actually let you guys talk about it. What'd you think?
I was very impressed with that arm, with all of the hinges that they had, the amount of control, and just how smooth it was. I found that very impressive.
Yeah, swinging whatever game piece you're working with over the robot seems like quite the challenge, but I'm loving the kind of control that they had with that for sure. What did you think?
I think that arm is going to be really great in saving time and helping them get over. I think it's going to be a really great game piece, and being an alliance will be really fast. You'll be able to move a lot of game pieces.
Yeah, totally. It seems like there's going to be a lot of flexibility in there and making sure that they can actually be a real team player as they kind of team up in those alliances in the upcoming competitions. And what did you think, Jason?
Yeah, I think that arm is definitely going to help their efficiency, but also their hatch grabber, because they actually can pick it up off the ground. So if any teams drop theirs, or they do, they can just pick it right back up and then put that on themselves.
Totally. Yeah, we're going to keep watching with you guys here, back here in Milwaukee. But in the meantime, we're going to give you yet another reveal video coming right at you from 1684, the Chimeras out of Lapeer, Michigan. Let's head on over that way.
Stop until we break. take your best shot, make your move. Oh, step right up, who's next? You're messing with the best. We're death-defying, coming in like lightning. Look out, we're striking. Ready, set, let's go. This fire's blazing, we're troublemaking. We got you shaking. Ready, set, let's go. Ready, set, let's go. High volts through these veins. Trouble is our game. Keeping aces up every sleeve. Bringing rivals down to their knees. Oh, step right up, who's next? You're messing with the best. We're death-defying, coming in like lightning. Look out, we're striking. Ready, set, let's go. This fire's blazing, we're troublemaking. We got you shaking. Ready, set, let's go. Ready, set, let's go. Hit 'em up, hit 'em up, hit 'em up. Hit 'em up, hit 'em up. We're death-defying, coming in like lightning. Look how we're striking. Ready, set, let's go.
That gracious professionalism, thanking Team 148 for the inspiration on their elevator. Nicely done. And that bot was beautiful. Like, I just love the color scheme. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all black everything. It's a popular thing in the community. Actually, the shout out to the other team was one of the things that I find so cool is every season the entire community gains more knowledge by knowing what other teams are doing, whether they're powerhouse teams or any team that you find at your event. There's always something to be gained from going and talking to the students on another team and seeing what their robot's all about. That team specifically mentioned it in their video, right? Thank you, 148, because you designed this really smooth, great elevator last year, and we looked at it and we improved upon it and we made it fit in our robot this year. And I think that's something that teams have so much to learn from each other and to build resources for each other is just a really cool thing. Much like the COTS revolution is something that I think is really creating a lot of waves in the FIRST community in the last couple of years. So this idea of rather than holding all your knowledge to yourself, be like, well, my team has this design and you can't have it. It's just these open engineering notebooks, these open design binders where teams can just kind of learn from each other. It's beautiful.
I'm a fan of that. And I know a lot of people that are at home may be wondering, man, these are some sweet videos. Where do I go and watch them? At the end of this broadcast, we're going to be releasing a playlist on YouTube of specifically all of these videos so that you can go watch them for yourself, as well as some of them that won't be coming in for this, but they still are awesome teamwork nonetheless. So I believe we've got another team on the way up, Team 4607.
Yeah, I'm really pumped about this video because it's not like a traditional reveal video. They went to one of those practice events that I was talking about earlier. And this is just like a 2-minute match of them in a practice event. And so you're just seeing the robot in realistic conditions, like as realistic as these practice events are, and you see like how, like this robot, it's super simple, man. It is super simple, but you'll see how effective it is. And so 4607 is really, especially last year, they did one of those like little switch bots that was just like so good at the switch. They focus on a couple things and they do it really well. And so this video, I've seen it already and I'm jazzed to see it again.
I haven't seen it. Let's see what they've got. 4607.
2, 1, go.
Up on elevator. Wrist up.
Too far. Oh, maybe not.
Actuate. Actuate.
Hatch!
Right. Go. Actuate. 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 Up.
I would say start doing cargo soon.
Right. Down. Actuate.
Cargo. Nope, one more.
Up. Left.
Cargo.
It's around that. It's around
It's good. When it pushes out, it'll be fine. Woo! Oh, come on!
We got to see another robot following up with the previous ones. I believe it was 4388.
It was.
It was a beautiful video. Like, so we got to see the previous team showcase. Not their reveal wasn't the pre-produced fantastic video. It was like, look, this is our robot in a match, and they did great work. And then we got to see 4388 come in with pre-production video, but it was also, I love the contrast in all of this. It's just like how we're talking about the different ways of engineering things and the different ways of coming to the same end. The design process is not too much different. I love it.
It is cool. I mean, like, I love the 4607 video. That's my style. Like, you know what? Forget about pre-producing something, whatever. Let's show what we can actually do.
Yep.
You know, this gives everyone an idea of what we can do. They're
That,
saying,
that was a recruitment manual, is what it was. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, we're gonna get to a match. This is what we can do right now. Like, let's get it.
You give us a side of the field. Mm-hmm. You keep a defender off our backs, and we're gonna do 6 panels and 4 balls.
Yep.
They were close to getting that climb right there. That was, and like 6 panels and 4 balls, 10 cycles. That is huge. Huge.
In
If you're
2
gonna,
minutes.
If they're going to do that in a week 1, week 2, week 3 event, they are going to just mow teams down. To be that ready that early is really impressive. So
Yeah, it is. And for those of you who don't know, I believe the match is going to be 2 minutes and 15 seconds?
2:30.
Okay, 2:30. So the first 15 seconds, though, are completely blind. Right, so it's a sandstorm because they're in deep space. They're on another planet. So the teams don't actually get to see in that first 15 seconds. So the fact that the robot started placing things already, that means they have a camera on their robot, or they've got something like the range finding tools on their robot. They've got lots of different options. But we got Team 2337 coming up to show us what they've got.
One of the best teams in Michigan, 14 blue banners in their history, a bunch of chairman's awards, a bunch of wins, and like they do some really cool engineering stuff. So let's take a look.
Let's see.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, let me see what spring is like on.
All right, we're back in Milwaukee, and that was a quick one, but a lot of cool things happened in there. So I got here with Dustin and Cameron from FIRST Robotics. What did you think of those, that quick Instagram story video?
Well, what I really liked was the fact that they YOLO drived onto the platform instead of off, so.
Hashtag YOLO drive. And Cameron, what did you think?
I liked the agility and the focus of the drivers, that they could remain at such high speeds and be so precise.
Okay, that's awesome. So precision and speed. Next, we're going to take it, speaking of speed, to the Sonic Squirrels in Snohomish, Washington, Team 2930.
We missed it! 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30!
Yeah. 6 weeks of hell is now over. Tune in next time.
All right, there we go. We got to see the reveal of their robot with the countdown of like, all right, we're done. We don't need to do anything else. We've got 30 seconds. Let's just party together. I like that.
Dude, they took the time to submit a video of them counting to 30. Like that's like, what are we gonna submit? Like this show is gonna be like the front page of Twitch. So many viewers. What's the world gonna see of our team? Yo, let's just count to 30, man. I'm gonna nickname that team the Sheep.
That's
confidence. They're just counting sheep.
That's confidence, though. I'm gonna go with confidence, guys. If you have not been here before, my name is DeejayKnight. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/DeejayKnight. But we're here hosting with FIRST Robotics, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. We're showcasing teams in the FIRST Robotics Competition, creating amazing robots for the deep space season. Now, I'm here with two fantastic co-hosts. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Libby. I'm a lead mentor for an FRC team, but I also stream here on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Discussian.
Hey, I'm Karthik of Apathy. I MC a bunch of robotics events in Canada and all around the world, so, what's up?
That's a great way of like, hey, I also do a lot of stuff. Sup, though.
I think, okay, back to this 2930 video for just a moment. It took me a second when you were explaining, there's a video in this list of a team that just counts to 30. I was like, what? And then it's 2930. It's their team number. I think one of the coolest things about the community is that every team has their own sort of like inside jokes. Teams become like families. And so my favorite thing about that is that 2930, you're probably all at home, sit there watching the broadcast, like, when is our video going to come on? And it's like just that moment of joy, right? Your team is working hard on engineering problems. Your team is working really hard on videos and your website and your business plan and all of the things that make up a FIRST Robotics Competition team. But also, you can just sit back and laugh every once in a while. It's truly, honestly, at least for my team, what gets us through the 6 weeks of design, build, fail, design it again, build it again. I think just the spirit of the community is really cool. It's fun.
I would have laughed a lot more if it was just like Team 1011.
Shorter form videos.
Thank you. Yeah.
Short form content is the new wave.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now,
shout out to Team Crush.
Now, okay, that's funny. But I do like the fact that they just did one specific thing. You made the point of, yes, they counted 30, but they brought the end of the build season in with their team name.
Yeah.
That is a lovely thing.
Well, I mean, it's a build season celebration show, so that's why we showed that
Celebrating 2930 in the build season celebration. Now, we could talk to you guys all day. We just told you that they're working on the deep space game. So let's give you a little bit of information about that deep space game before we send you off to Team 2240 Brute Force.
Alliances of deep space travelers race to place hatch panels on their rockets and cargo ship, load valuable cargo for transport off the planet, and return to the safety of their habitat, all before the next sandstorm sweeps through.
If I told you this was only gonna hurt, if I warned you that the fire's gonna burn, would you walk in? Would you let me do it first? Do it all in the name of love. In the name of love. Name of love. In the name of If I told you we could bathe in all the lights, would you rise up? Come and meet me in the sky. Would you trust me when you're jumping from the heights? Would you fall in the name of love? When there's madness, when there's poison in your head, when the sadness leaves you broken in your bed, I will hold you in the depths of your despair. But it's all in the name of love. In the name of love. Name of love. In the name of
Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool, all about the bounce in my step. Watch it on the news, what you gonna do? I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool. Should I keep it light, stay out of the fight? No one's gonna listen to me. If I write a song, preaching what is wrong, will they let me sing on TV? Should I keep it light? Is that right? Way up we go. Been up and down that road. Way up, oh no. We gon' burn the whole house down. Watch me standing in line. You're only serving lies. You got something to hide. We gon' burn the whole house down. We gon' burn the whole house down. Should I hang my head low? Should I bite my tongue? Or should I march with every stranger from Twitter to get it done? Used to hang my head low, now I hear it loud. Every stranger from Twitter is gonna burn this down. Way up we go. Been up and down that road. Way up, oh no. We gon' burn the whole house down. Watch me standing in line. You're only serving lies. You got something to hide. We gon' burn the whole house down. We gon' burn the whole house down.
Welcome back, welcome back. We got to see a team do yet another interesting choice when it comes to getting to that tier 3 hab. They have their wheels on individual stilts and just pull them up individually. That's intriguing. I hadn't seen that done yet.
I mean, like, everything that's old is new again. And it's like, this is like a flashback for me, because like when I was like a college kid, I had the opportunity to become the lead mentor for Team 1114, and our first robot, that we did the same thing. That you only have to do a 6-inch step. We wanted to do swerve. We really wanted the motion that you could get from swerve. We were also dumb. That's why we did swerve. But like, and so we put them on those individual pods to pop up like that. And they did it going up all the way. It is so cool. And like, you see the motion, and like, it's crazy how swerve has evolved since 2004. Like, you go back to the original swerve, 1998, Team Chief Delphi, Team 47. Swerve was so antiquated then. Like, if you look at it now, but like now it's so modern. Like, the algorithms to control it, it's so smooth. And 5006 has really nailed it. It's just, that was a beautiful robot. So like, shout out to them.
Yeah, it was. And the music choice was nice. As you guys could see, we were over here dancing a little bit. But FRC guy and you, we didn't miss those subscriptions. Thank you very much for your support. And you also have the chance to follow the stream right now. Don't forget that every Saturday from noon to 8 p.m. Eastern, there's going to be matches all day long. 8 straight hours of matches here on this channel. So turn on your notifications, get the joy from it, and then come watch kids battle with robots. Not actual battling, but Team 548 is coming up next, yes?
That's right, but after 548, as we get to this, I know a lot of you have tuned in to see, who else is on the show. We've got, to round off the show, some of the best teams in all of FRC. Talking about Team 4039, Makeshift Robotics. Team 148, the Robo Wranglers. Team 610, Crescent Robotics. 1678, the Citrus Circuit. 6 straight times to Einstein. And then we're going to round the show off. We haven't seen it yet. We know a lot of you have. It dropped on Chief Delphi, it dropped on YouTube. But the kings of the robot reveal video, Team 118, the Robonauts. And you're gonna see our reactions live to this. And I'm just, like 118, they are reveal videos. They made one in 2010 where it's like you watch the videos like, that's a cool robot. In the last scene, they send a robot flying through the air through the driver's station. I saw that video for the first time at 2 in the morning in the 1114 shop, and I lost my mind. I just started like screaming, and like, I can't wait to see what they drop here.
So many of the teams on the list that you just mentioned are teams that make videos like that every year. It's like, oh, whenever it drops, all work in your shop is done for the hour, right? It's time to watch it again in slow-mo, see what their stuff is. And so, again, Karthik mentioned this, but a lot of y'all watching at home here on Twitch have already seen those reveals, but we have been avoiding spoilers for a lot of those teams. And so just like you see our little dance cam here, you're also going to get a reaction cam from us seeing specifically the 118 video for the first time. So we figured the king of all reveal videos, a good time to sort of have a live reaction. So that's what you'll get those for.
The 118, 148 videos have been out there, but the 610, 1678 videos I don't believe have been out there. So I think that's going to be new for everyone. So like...
So a lot of new reveals happening.
Well, we got one coming right now, and this is one of the top teams in Michigan. They're always up at the top of the standings. They do really cool stuff. It's Team 548, so let's check it out.
Bang. Who in here trying to start a fight? Trying to start a fight. Who in here trying to start it? Who that flying in the air? Who? That ain't no flying saucer. I'm shooting webs like worldwide. Manhattan all the way to Yonkers. When they say Brooklyn, stand up. You better just fix your posture. And every hero needs his theme song. So who in here trying to start a fight? Who in here trying to start a fight? Try to start it. Bang. Who in here try to start it? Who in here try to start it?
Welcome back to Discovery World here in occasionally sunny Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My name is Shadow Temple, and we're hanging out with Charger Robotics right here, watching along with these reveal videos alongside you at home. We've just had a chance to see 548's beautiful robot here in action, moving and grooving with the best of them. I have myself Claire and Sarah with me here today. What did you think about what you saw right there?
I thought it was really cool how they moved the cargo. They intook it on one side of the robot, and then it was like on the other side where they could manipulate it around.
Yeah, and I love seeing that intake be so versatile as to like where they can be moving around the field, grabbing that and just keep on moving as it's chugging up towards where they can then launch it back out. What did you think?
I just thought the intake as well as the hatch panel manipulator was also really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see. I really want to see that one on a field, trying to compete against maybe especially defenders trying to come in, because man, they were lightning quick as they were getting all those things done. We'll keep watching these alongside with you guys at home. Don't stick around. We're actually going to be jumping to Team 6036 Peninsula Robotics from Palo Alto, California. Let's watch it together. All right, let's see it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Little Einstein is the choice for that. Music was fantastic because I've heard that remix before. It's fantastic. I enjoy it. And also, one, that arm. Wow. It looks like they could pick up one of the bowling balls in the bowling alley they were practicing, and that's absolutely awesome. So great music choice, interesting choice of mechanics for picking up things, and then you got to see, like, it seems like when they extend to push one of the hatches closed, like the whole thing, like, it's just, I like it. That's just impressive.
Definitely some really diverse mechanisms of this robot, right? So every team goes through their own journey, and sometimes you see things that, taking inspiration from previous years of FIRST games, you see things that are similar or, you know, kind of universal, right? You see a lot of elevators, you see a lot of roller claws, but this was a big roller claw, and it's like, yeah, there's sort of conventions on how to do this, but we're gonna do what we want. I always think that's really fun. I think maybe Little Einsteins are hinting they want to go all the way to Big Einstein, maybe.
Well, I mean, there was also like they were hinting at something else there. I think I have no idea. I have no idea if this is true, but they had 4 devices that came over the bumpers when they were lifting, and it's almost like that. Those 4 devices, you could add forks to them out the sides, and maybe when they're on the ground, robots could drive up, and they might be lifted. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
With their students standing on the robot, showing that they can support that kind of weight.
Exactly, like that's a tease, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
I hadn't even considered that. That's well played.
I like it. It's the scout
I was
side.
just still blown away by the claw. It's too impressive. It's too impressive. All right, so guys, if you've never been here before, my name is DeejayKnight. I'm hosting here at FIRST Headquarters, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, and we're showcasing students in the FIRST Robotics Competition. The build season has ended, and they're sending in their introductions to their robots. Now, I've got 2 amazing co-hosts with me. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hey there, Twitch chat. My name is Libby. I'm a mentor for FRC 1923, but I am also a streamer here on Twitch as a Skessian.
Hey, Karthik I like to host robot events and do cool stuff.
Sup. He missed the sup. I'm sad. All right, so we're still got more amazing things to come. We've got Team 1410, the Kraken, which, I mean, I'm always a fan of the term just because of release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. It's awesome. And then we also got 1523 Mars coming up with their introductions to their robots. So check them out.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose. Everybody, we rollin'. Everybody, we rollin'. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rollins. In this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world. I see you in the morning. I see you in the morning. This is way too much. I need a
Some of these music choices, man, like the
Damn!
hype in here. Lovely looking robot. Some interesting choices on their choice of mechanics, but it's just yes, of course. No one team should have all that power.
No one team should have all that power. Oh, that was good. See, this is like what makes these videos fun, man. Like, this is like, you could show that to anyone and they would be like hyped about FIRST Robotics. Like, just put that up on YouTube. Everyone just watch that video and be like, yo, this is what I want to do. Like, this is not your grandfather's science fair anymore. You know, like, you come to these things, these events, and there was like crazy engineering stuff going on. This intense competition, but it's like, it's fun. It's a show.
As somebody who played football in high school, there's never, like, as far as like science fairs were concerned, when I was watching science fairs, it's awesome to see science and technology get this kind of focus. Like, being at championships is just energizing. You can just feel it in the air. There's an energy of people that are just excited about robotics, and you can't beat that. Now, we just got done watching some amazing videos, and we got another amazing video coming up here very shortly. I believe from Team 1787.
That's right, the Flying Circuits out of Cleveland, Ohio. You know, I'm originally from Ohio. I'm going to throw up the OH, IO in chat, you know, and pump to see what they got.
Midwest Love from Chicago. Let's see what they got. Do it up.
Let me hear that. Let me hear that.
Milwaukee, and I'm here with Elena and Emily and Melanie who were very excited during this last one. So what were you guys getting excited about? Because I saw some pretty cool reactions.
Just looking at this robot and like the previous robots, I'm just looking at this year and like how much these teams have grown and how much of this year is going to be so much of a boom in like all of this. It's very exciting to see.
Absolutely. It's exciting to see FIRST grow. It's exciting to see the teams grow and take on these new challenges every single year. By the time some of you all are in the workforce, we don't even know what kind of jobs are going to be available then, so it's great to see you guys adapting to all that. I also love the music on the last few, and I'm kind of jealous because Karthik and Libby and DJ are getting these little dance segments, and I want to pull out my robot dance, but we don't have that technology here yet, hopefully by the end of the night. So, Melanie, what did you think? What got you excited about it?
I was really excited about the way that the robot moved and the like different ways that they could pick up different items. It was really exciting to see the way that they built their robot with the different movement around.
Nice. So the moves on the robot or Karthik, who wins?
I don't know. Both of them are pretty good, so.
All right, we'll have to see. Next, we're going to go to somewhere in Ontario where we've got Makeshift Robotics, Team 4039. 38.
life, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday I wish upon
shifting the perception of science and technology. I like it. Just like you said, like that's a beautiful way of phrasing it.
Team 4039, like they're like my favorite team. I love Makeshift. Like anyone who knows Makeshift, just like falls in love with them because this team is like all class, all gracious professionalism. They build amazing robots. They just got this full total package. The branding with the rainbow colors there. You know, the song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, it ties in so well. It's just a little tease of what they're going to do. I'm excited. I'm emceeing both events they're going to this year. I'm pumped to see them. And, like, this is one of those teams that everyone wants to see and everyone wants to interact with. And when we talk about role model teams in the community, that's what Makeshift's about. And, like, this is, like, they just kind of embody the program. And that song, that was, like, touching, man. I felt that.
Their little fist bump for teamwork.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice touch. So, like, if you hadn't been here before, front page of Twitch. I'm DeejayKnight. We're here at FIRST headquarters. Stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, which just makes it awesome that they had shifting the perception of science and technology here. We're showcasing the building completion season of the FIRST Robotics Competition, and I have two lovely co-hosts here with me. Please introduce yourselves.
Hey there, Twitch chat. My name is Libby. On Twitch, I go by Askesian. That's sort of my internet name. I stream, I play games, and I build robots. I'm a lead mentor for an FRC team myself.
Hey, I'm Karthik of Apathy. I host a bunch of robot events and like do stuff. And you know, my internet name is Karthik of Apathy.
Sounds like a
Fair
plan.
enough.
Yeah,
So
it works out.
It does.
Yeah.
So we're showcasing a lot of teams doing amazing things, and we've got one coming up that is just something that a lot of people have been excited about. We've got Team 148, Robo Wranglers, coming out of Greenville, Texas. Let's see what they're bringing into the season.
I got the sunset in my pocket, and I'm not afraid to use it. Now I'm feeling superhuman. That's the point of the illusion. Like, I'm the man round here. 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 Baby, you can't stomp me out. You know you can't even slow me down. You know I'll spread this wild around. So if you shoot, you better shoot me now. Shots fired on me. Shots fired on me. Can't stop me out. You can't stop me out. No, no. Baby, you can't stomp me out. You know you can't even slow me down. You know I'll spread this wild around. So if you shoot, you better shoot me now. Baby, you can't stomp me out. You know you can't even slow me down. You know I'll spread this wild around. So if you shoot, you better shoot me now. Shots fired on me. Shots fired on me. Can't stop me out. You can't stop me out. Shots fired on me. Shots fired on me. Can't stop me out. You can't stop me out. No, no.
right, welcome back to Discovery World here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My name is Shadow Temple, and I'm here with FIRST Robotics, having a chance to see 148 in action right there. My goodness, that climber looked less like a lift and more like a launch. And the jet black, of course, looking beautiful in that sun. All right, so we got ourselves we got ourselves Callie and Dustin here, I do believe. What did you think of that? What did you think you saw there?
It was really cool to see all the different mechanisms that they were trying, especially that first one with the hatch panel. That was really cool, and how they came to their final design. And also, it's just a gorgeous robot. The color is amazing.
Yeah, totally. And one thing I did like seeing, too, was how much I love seeing little bits of prototyping in these videos as well. Because, you know, for those of you who are very familiar with FIRST, you know that all those steps happen in the build season. But for those who are just watching us for the first time on Twitch, they don't get to see all that in a lot of these reveal videos. So it's fun to see a little bit of that action as you move along. Now, what did you think, Dustin?
I was just a fan of their really slick driving. Like, they had some really good shots in that video, and just being able to see how they drove so smoothly. I was a big fan of that.
Totally, and I got to say, these videos have gotten a lot better since my days of lunacy back in the day. My goodness. Now, we have something a little bit special for you guys. I know, I see it in chat. We've been asking for a bit. So, we're going to give you it right now. We have the world premiere of Team 610 Coyotes. Their video coming up from you right now from North York, Ontario, Canada. Let's give it a shot.
Urban black than Mozart.
For the souls of the old lost, gather round, we can all watch the throne fall. And you king has ascended a ghost, y'all. Crown me in majesty, oh Lord. Majesty, oh Lord.
Such a fitting name for the robot. Looks like a mantis. The darkness when they just showed nothing but robot pieces, and then just the silhouette of the mantis. They chose a song with mantis in it. Just overall, that excited me.
I'm
excited about it.
The combination there of cinematography and just like awesome robot. It's just so like I mean the last 3 years, like 610 has just been like just crazy good at everything, and this robot and they're just so much fun at events. Like they're just like fun on the field. Last year, shooting a cube while hanging, why not take a hanging shot? You know, why not go for it? But they do these awesome things, but there's just like so much inspiration when you look at the robots, how well built they are. And they're one of the few top teams who doesn't build a second robot. They only build one, no practice robot. And so they try and get done super early and practice as much as they can, and then they're hands off. But they come into these events and they just like roll. I am so pumped week 1 of their competition season next weekend at Durham College, presented by First Canada. 610 is going to be competing there, and that's one that everyone's going to want to watch. We know Play-by-Play is going to be talking about it because that robot, they always come out firing, and they kind of set the tone for the season.
Yeah.
And other teams have to react to how good they are.
So that's a perfect time to let you guys know that if you haven't already followed the channel, do so. Saturdays, noon to 8 p.m. Central, there's going to be games all day with these. Some of these robots that you're seeing in these videos are going to be showcased soon. So hit that follow button. And now we're going to go to the next team. More excitement. Citrus Circuits, Team 1678. Obviously, you're excited. You got your hands up. You've held them up there for a minute.
World premiere. I haven't seen it yet.
Me neither.
And like the Citrus Circuits have gone to Einstein 6 years in a row. They just keep going to Einstein, and they won the World Championship in 2015. Like, this team is just phenomenal. They just always seem to pull it out when it seems like things are going wrong. They always pull it out, but they aren't just doing stuff on the field. They're one of the strongest programs off the field, what they're doing in their community, how much they support other teams, the resources they put out there. 1678 is, I mean, we keep saying these teams are the total package, but like, it's just, yes. And like, they always raise the bar. And like what we just talked about with 610, everyone wants to see what they're going to do week one, you know. With the Citrus Circuits, everyone wants to see how far they're going to raise the bar.
I think that's why it's so exciting to have the world premiere here on the Build Season Celebration show too. Is, I mean, we all have not seen it, but at least in our message with the production staff, all we got was all caps. Oh my God, this video is so cool. We're not gonna let you see it yet because we want you to see it for the first time on the show, but this is the coolest. We have to show this. It's an awesome robot. So I'm ready to see a pretty awesome robot. I think Citrus Circuits are a team that so many teams out there look up to, and now we get to watch their robot, I think.
I'm a Citrus Circuits fanboy.
Oh, yeah.
I just need like a lime right now to just start like sucking on.
Okay, so I'm just gonna let you rest with that. We could talk about this all day. No further delay. 1678, Citrus Circuits, premiere, world premiere, right now.
No flash, just like
That's
boom. You know, like just like straight up. Like they didn't need to do any of the fancy stuff or whatever. They said, here's our robot, 2-hatch auto, lifting 2 robots, boom, boom, boom.
Here's the awesomeness. So I know they've got to feel some similar things in Wisconsin. What are you guys thinking out there?
They're stunned.
Everybody's stunned. Like, we're all stunned. She's like, what happened?
I don't. Yeah.
That was amazing. Just seeing the reactions to that was awesome. We all kind of reacted crazy there. So what did you think, Coy? What got you excited there?
That triple climb was absolutely amazing. Their strategy from their auto to their climb is really worked out, and they're going to be a key player.
That's awesome to see the key player, and then lifting each other up as we climb, right? That's an awesome piece of it. How about yourself, Nick?
Yeah, the lift that lifted all 3 robots was really impressive, and the manipulator was really smooth moving the game pieces.
All right, the night just keeps getting more and more exciting. Let's see what the Robonauts have for us, Team 11-8.
Ladies and gents, welcome to the rock show. Center spotlight, and we watch the stage glow. Backstage access, but you're seated at the front row. House lights shut off, and here we go. Get up, like a one in a million. Get up, like a diamond, you're brilliant. Get up, oh don't stop believing. You're a star tonight. We're working our sheets at night on the way to the show. Cruising in the back of a Cadillac limo.
meant to be. We're 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 meant to be.
No ticket price, names on guest list tonight. Just flash your pass, walk through all the waiting lines. Selected and destined for the spotlight. Chosen and free, you're born to be. Get up, take a one in a million. Get up, take a dive, you're brilliant. Get up, oh don't stop believing. You're a we're working our seeds tonight on the way to the show. Cruising in the back of a Cadillac limo. Hit the red carpet plus velvet ropes. Like we got no access pass to the show tonight. Power to show me in my suit and tie. Campus got me feeling like I'm so alive.
We're meant to be. 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 We're meant to be.
Some massive folks.
Wow. Wow.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
That was beautiful.
How do they do it every year?
I don't know.
Like, it's just like
the drifting, like the nonstop. Like, yeah, we're just gonna move sideways when they threw it.
Oh, the roll.
Picked it up, just the rolling, just.
That's like Ulysses, man. When he's trying to do the thing with the rings and the javelin to see if he's worthy of Helen of Troy. The robot also gonna marry Helen of Troy.
Man, I have a problem catching frisbees, and they just flipped it. And just let me get that real quickly and put it where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, let me just. I got this. Like
the speed of all of that, the speed of every movement was just so much yes.
So much yes.
Just so much of one component. Yes, that's all it was. It was just yes.
Lex Luger, man. The total package. The total package.
Man, after you said Lex Luthor for a second,
No,
I was
Lex
very
Luger.
worried.
Lex Luger, the wrestler, man.
You went way back, though.
I went way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Before
wow.
the Attitude Era right there, man. Flex
But the Attitude Era was yes, though.
Oh, of course.
If that was an Attitude Era wrestler, it would just be DeejayKnight. Just
Pardon?
DX. That would be DX.
I think it might be that's like The Rock.
Can we?
What do you think about The Rock? It doesn't matter what you think.
So we got.
Can we talk about robots so I can be a part of this conversation?
We're
please?
talking about video games nonstop.
Listen, and this is our website.
Well, wrestling is like that.
I would have to agree. Like
Yeah.
that's
Our
my bonding
website.
with the both of you.
Well,
Wrestling,
ladies and gentlemen,
video
boys and
games.
girls, children of all ages.
I'm trying not to do it because I have that memorized, and I don't want to take away too much away from the robots.
I mean,
I think
118 just took everything out of me. Like, I got nothing left to give.
You might not have seen it. It took him a lot to not be flipping around this room right now. Like it was.
I'm wired in with my mic. Otherwise, I was just gonna walk out. I was gonna just start doing push-ups and just say like it's over, man.
This is it.
We could continue talking about this all night, but I know they had to have been thinking things up there with Shadow and Jay up there in Wisconsin. So let's go see what Shadow thought about it as well. Goodness, what'd you think, man?
All right, welcome back one final time here from Discovery World in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My name is Shadow Temple. We're hanging out with a whole bunch of teams from the state of Wisconsin here in the Rockwell Automation exhibit space. One final time. We had a great time watching these videos with you guys today. Just beautiful robots in action that I'm ready and willing and so pumped to see from all those competition weeks that we're going to see coming up here pretty soon, for better or worse. Any last words you have to say before we go here, Jay?
Yeah, it's the end of the build season, but just the beginning of a lot of amazing things that are going to come from these teams. Hope to see some of you guys across the world at some point this year, maybe at championships. Either way, continue to be inspired and continue to inspire others because there's a lot of really great things that are going to come out of this.
Absolutely. And I'll be seeing all of these folks, of course, at the Wisconsin Regional here coming up in a couple of weeks. And I hope to see you all at Worlds coming up in April. Well, from Discovery World once again, this is Shadow Temple. Back to you guys.
very much for bringing it back, Shadow. It's been amazing watching all of the work that these teams have been putting into not only this past 6 weeks. That's one thing that I want to make sure to stress for the people who've never seen anything related to FIRST Robotics because you're on the front page of Twitch. If you haven't already come through, that video didn't do it. Do it now. That's 6 weeks of planning and building that these teams get to get that done. I was here to help kick off Deep Space in the beginning of January. And these teams have gone from this is the game to this in 6 weeks. And now it's about to get fun because they're going to have to start challenging each other for everybody to step their game up. And as you mentioned earlier, all these teams are continually getting better, but
that's the process. Like, the 6 weeks may be over, but they're still working on robots. They're working on practice robots right now. They're working on new ideas. Some teams are watching these videos right now and be like, we need to do that. Let's build something, let's get it ready, let's bring it in, and let's swap it in. Like, there's actually teams who wait to see what the 118s and the 148s and the 610s of the worlds do, and so they can try and emulate it and make it better.
Indeed.
Like, it's process. Like, you know, DJ and I were talking about this earlier, and it's with the former chairman of FIRST, John Abley, always used to say, there's 2 ways to compete in this world. You can rise above your opponent, or you can drag your opponent down. In the FIRST community, we try and rise above by looking to what they do, be inspired by it, and take it to another level.
And then the kicker there is once you've gotten to another level, reach down, help other people get there. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about FIRST in general is the gracious professionalism. It's just a lot of things that go into making sure that everybody is helping everyone else. That's not your opponent. That's somebody that you might be working with in the future. Make sure that they get better so that everybody gets better. Now, we can sit here and talk robots all night. The excitement is palpable in here, but what would you guys say as some of your final thoughts after watching all these amazing videos, after seeing all of the things that these teams have done to get their robots ready, to get these videos ready for the next season? What would you guys have to say before we end for the evening?
I mean, I'm just really excited to see how this game plays out strategically. Like, we saw a lot of different styles of lifts. We saw a lot of different styles. Like, you know, we're really focusing on the mechanics of the robots, but I'm curious to see how the strategies play out. You know, like, our team's going to be running, you know, 3 offense. We're going to be running 2 offense plus 1 defense. How's that going to go? What's going to be the difference between qualification matches and elimination matches? Is the focus going to be on the rocket in the qualification? Will anyone even touch the rocket in the elimination rounds in weeks 1, 2, and 3? How much is the climb worth? You know, we know it's worth 12 points, but how is that relative to what the rest of the points are? This game, there's, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's not the most strategic game. You know, last year was a very strategic game, but this is still chess out there, man. It's high-speed chess, you know, with a lot of flashing LEDs and limelights and all sorts of cool stuff.
That's actually, I was comparing FIRST Robots to PCs with a streaming friend of mine. And I said, I was like, imagine you're building a PC, but then that PC also has to play contact sports. So that's it's high-speed chess out here. It's I think the season's going to be really fun. I'm excited to see it all on play-by-play. I think for teams, one of the things, if you're watching at home and you're on a team, is to remember to celebrate every portion of this journey that you're on. Not only, you know, the beautiful engineering challenges that the teams have risen up and met so far, but, you know, to really celebrate everything that you're gaining as a member of a FIRST team. I think there's so much that students, you don't realize, it's kind of a secret. Like, you're learning a lot more than just how to build a robot. And, you know, really be able to celebrate and to soak in this journey. I think the whole season will be better if sort of you have a chance to reflect. And whether you're learning from another team or learning from your own experiences will make you better for next season and many seasons to come. I just think it's going to be an awesome season. I can't wait to watch all the matches. I can't wait to play it with my team. We're very ready. We compete week 2, so we're prepping, we're practicing. It's going to be a good season. I'm ready for Destination Deep Space.
Awesome. I'm excited about all of it. Just after watching all of the different build types, that's one of my favorite things about coming to FIRST events is seeing the myriad ways that teams can tackle the same problem. And we've seen many just here today, but that's just some of the teams. That's nowhere near the amount of teams that are taking place in FIRST events and FIRST regionals. Think about the options that we haven't even explored yet. That those teams have been watching today, seeing the things that other people are doing, and said, nobody did the thing that we did. So that is the team that I'm looking for. Somebody doing something new in an amazing way. We've seen a lot of that here today. Now, guys, if you haven't already done so, please make sure to follow the channel here at twitch.tv/FirstInspires. Every Saturday, there's going to be amazing things going on from noon Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern matches. And don't forget to tune into the weekly play-by-play. It's going to be an absolute blast. So this season is going to be definitely an interesting one. Turn on the follows. turn on the follow notifications. So thanks for tuning in. My name is DeejayKnight, signing out here from Twitch headquarters in Manchester. It's a beautiful time. Thank you for your time. We'll see you soon out on the field.
Alumni means that I have an entire world of connections.
It allows me to volunteer and give back to the community.
I think FIRST can really prepare you to solve any number of the world's big problems. The skills that you're going to be learning can completely change the future.